Hello, welcome from Trend Signal for our review of the data and events the week beginning the 9th of April. Monday morning, markets overnight bounced somewhat. Optimism, I think, about the first quarter earnings, which start in the US this Friday. JPM, that's JP Morgan, Wells Fargo and Citi are the first ones to release. Despite the nasty slump Friday, following the further threats between the US and China and what some people now have called the phony trade war, there seems to be a more optimistic note Monday morning, tending to give Trump the benefit of the doubt, i.e. This is all part of a strategy to get China to the negotiating table, or is it, as someone said. Interesting article in the Financial Times by one of the U.S. administration's advisors on trade, a chap called Peter Navarro, who's a director of trade and industrial policy, saying that China's been breaking all the rules since it joined the WTO in 2001. So you can see where Trump might be getting his views on trade and where he gets his support. This is one side of the argument, the other side being the enormous cost benefits that the U.S. has enjoyed outsourcing its production to a low-cost country such as China. Anyway, there's more of that to come, obviously, and my suspicions are that the market will not calm down until the negotiations have been concluded. In Europe, the anti-immigration nationalist party of Viktor Orban won an overwhelming majority and victory in the general election held in Hungary yesterday. Certainly the result seems to strengthen Hungary's hand as it continues its criticism of the EU's immigration policy. This now means that the EU has a hard core, really, of anti-immigration sympathizers in Hungary, Poland, and Austria, which includes the far-right Freedom Party. They're going to be encouraged to beat the drum even louder following the Hungarian result. Looking at the markets, big fall in equities Friday following the counter threat from Trump administration to impose these sanctions. That came and went. We've already discussed that, really. Non-farm payroll, no major concerns there. A bit of an outlier number. Looked a little bit of surprise, but I think we're going to see a revision to that. The average hourly earnings, which was of some concern, came in at plus 0.3%, as the market expected. So no surprises there, as some had expected. Okay, let's have a look at the data and events this week. Usually, as is the case, following non-farm payroll week, as we refer to it, the following week tends to be quite quiet, and it's certainly the same this month. Nothing on Monday, really. The first bit of data of any note is out on Tuesday, the 10th, and that's the US Producer Price Index. It's really sort of like a leading indicator to possible rises in the consumer price index or inflation. The PPI measures the cost of goods going into production, and as I said, is regarded as a leading indicator, but nothing stirring there, plus 0.1%. We jump to Wednesday. We have the UK manufacturing production. It seems the UK took a bigger knock from the snow effect in March, and maybe this will be reflected in the manufacturing data as well, but forecasts for a number of plus 0.2% might be lower. Mario Draghi, wow, we haven't heard from him for a while, speaking at some student award ceremony in Frankfurt, home territory for the ECB and Mario Draghi. Wednesday afternoon, we have the CPI data for the US. This will be of some interest. We've actually got the month-on-month number of plus 0.2%. It's the core data that we look at, but actually that should result in an annual rate of 2%, which, believe it or not, will hit the Fed's target, which is extraordinary. That's been an enigma and something of a problem for the previous incumbent at the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, who described it as just that, an enigma. Very strong labor market, very strong economy, but with no price pressures, at least not until now. Later on in the day, on Wednesday, we have the crude oil inventories. Had a big drawdown in stocks last week, but didn't prevent the market falling. More likely, partly in alarm to the trade war, but also technically, Brent oil was bubbling away to the $70 level and just failed to break through, and I think was bit of a sell-off as a result of that failure. For the rest of the week, not a lot really. Well, we got the FOMC minutes in the evening on Wednesday. Always interesting to see what the members of the Federal Reserve are thinking, especially under the new guidance of Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Thursday, Kuroda speaking, EC monetary policy meeting accounts. Well, not sure what effect that'll have. And then Mark Carney talking on Thursday evening, nothing on Friday. Mark Carney talking on his home territory in Canada, in Toronto. Yeah, it's likely to have little effect over here, I suspect. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening. All the best. Bye for now.
If you would like more information about trading the right way, Trend Signal is giving you the opportunity to see and hear about its services live at a free online seminar. Take a look at the Trend Signal website for the latest events and to book your free place.